Hey boys and girls, it's Mr. Tom again. Guess what it's time for? Right, another book. Well, what we're talking about now is buildings. What is a building? What do you do in buildings? Why do we have buildings? Buildings. Your house? Is your house a building? Yes. Is your school a building? Yes. Well, let's learn about buildings. We'll read this book together. It's called Buildings, Buildings, Buildings by Judith Bauer Stamper. Let's begin. What is a building? A building is a place that shelters people or things. Your community is full of all kinds of buildings. They provide a place for people to learn, work, shop, travel, or play. You learn in a school building. A school can be big or small. You go to different school buildings as you grow up. Let's look inside. Inside a school. That looks a little bit like our classroom, doesn't it? Libraries are built for learning too. One thing all libraries have in common is lots of books. Let's look inside. Inside a library. I think that little girl's with her grandpa. And she's handing it to the librarian to check the book out. That means she's going to take it home and read it. She's going to borrow it and then give it back. What a cool idea. You can shop for food in a grocery store. A grocery store can be a little shop on the corner or a huge supermarket. Let's look inside. Inside a supermarket. There's mom and dad and a little girl buying food. A post office is a building where workers send mail all over the country and the world. Big post offices in large cities handle millions of pieces of mail each year. Even a small town post office handles mail in large numbers. Let's look inside. Inside a post office. Hospitals are buildings where doctors and nurses work. Hospitals have patient rooms, operating rooms, recovery rooms, and rooms full of special equipment for saving lives and treating patients. Let's look inside. Inside a hospital. There's a little girl and sick in a bed, and the nurse is taking care of her. Hopefully she gets better soon. Adults, big people like Mr. Tom, go to work in many different types of buildings. A huge office building has many small offices inside. A factory has large rooms with machines. Factories make everything from cars to toys. Let's look inside. Inside a car factory. Oh, they're making cars. That's pretty cool. There are special buildings where journeys start and end. An airport, passengers get on and off planes at big buildings called terminals. Trains and ships have terminals too. Let's look inside. Inside an airport. Those people are waiting to get on a plane to fly someplace cool, maybe to visit someone. Do you like to play sports? Millions of people do. Cheering fans pack basketball arenas, ballparks, and football stadiums. Let's look inside. Ooh, inside a football stadium. That deserves a nice close-up. Here we go. They're playing football in that stadium. Some buildings were made for sharing beautiful art and music. People hear music in concert halls, and they look at art in art museums. The buildings can be beautiful too, like this one. I think this is called the Guggenheim, and I don't know where it's at. I thought it was in New York City, but I shouldn't say because I'm probably wrong. Inside a museum. Our country celebrates its history and heroes with buildings that are monuments and memorials. The Lincoln Memorial in Washington, D.C. honors President Abraham Lincoln. What a fancy building. Let's look inside. Inside the Lincoln Memorial. Every building has a special job. Can you guess what these buildings do? What's that one called? A lighthouse, right. A lighthouse tells ships and boats that there is dangerous rocks ahead and go another way so you don't crash into the rocks. This is a barn, that's right. That's where animals live on a farm. And what's that down there? Is that a gas station? Is that where Mommy and Daddy buy the gas to put in their cars? That is right. I enjoyed reading this book with you, boys and girls. It's called Buildings, Buildings, Buildings. We'll have more books soon. See you, boys and girls.